Welcome to the Animation Station Podcast, your home for discussions and debates about all things animation. Each week, we'll rank, review, and revel in animated shows from yesterday and today, and from around the world. So grab your Acme slingshot, set your mobile suit to autopilot, and put on your mouse ears. The Animation Station Podcast begins now.
Let's do this thing.
Woohoo! Come on! Go, McQueen!
It's Jackson Storm for the win!
Unbelievable!
You have no idea what a pleasure it is for me to finally beat you.
Oh, thanks. Hang on, did you say meet or beat?
I think you heard me.
I can't do the same old thing. It won't work.
Then change it up. Try something new.
You know what I'd do?
What?
I don't know. I got nothing.
I am speed.
That is great self-motivation. Did you come up with that?
Prepare to race.
Whoa.
We need to loosen those ancient joints. There you go.
I decide when I'm done. Turn right to go left. Turn right to go left.
That doesn't make any sense.
Disney Pixar's Cars 3 in 3D June 16th.
We'll probably drum up some stuff
We
if I
take you
wanted
to a Fair of the Heart.
What's that?
That's the thing in Oklahoma City where it's like they have like artists, like pottery people that make stuff, artists.
I never heard of that.
Stuff. You've never heard of the Fair of the Heart? Never on the radio, like on a Fair of the Heart.
No.
Really?
I have not heard of this.
My gosh.
I mean, I've only
How
lived here
long
for
have
10 years.
Yeah, it's been going on for like 50.
No, it's all right. Maybe the channels or the stations I listen to don't play it.
I guess.
Play that commercial.
Maybe.
I've never heard of it. I mean, I've heard people talk about like the Oklahoma City Arts Festival. Like, is that what they're referring to when they say that, or is that a separate thing?
I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know what
Never heard of it.
Yeah. All right. Ready to kick this off?
Let's do it. All right. Welcome to a special Cartoon Cafe. Today we're talking about Pixar's newest, greatest movie, Cars 3.
What is this called?
The Animation Station Podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
They know. They heard the intro.
Welcome to the Animation Station Podcast. My name is
In case
Josh.
you're blind and can't read
My name is Josh.
have never heard the show before.
My name is Josh.
His name's always Josh. My name's always Gavin. We're always the Animation Station Podcast.
God, I already hate you.
Because everything I do, you're criticizing.
It's 11 in the morning, and I already hate you.
Well, good.
All right, so we're talking about Cars 3.
Cars 3, yes. We got to see it on the IMAX screen, which I thought was cool, because it was super big and super beautiful. But I was pretty pleased with this movie. I think coming out of it, I think you were probably more pleased than you thought you might be. You said you liked it better than Cars 2.
Well,
right?
Yeah, but I like going to the bathroom better than I like Cars 2.
Going to the bathroom can be pretty satisfying,
right?
You know? And Cars 2 doesn't always deliver in that same way.
Or
I agree.
Some could say it never delivers.
It does. But yeah, I really did enjoy this movie. I liked what they did with the story. You got two of your wishes. Lightning McQueen didn't win.
No, he totally won. Did you not see the end of the movie?
You know what I mean. He didn't cross the finish line. And,
doesn't matter. He still won. It's still stupid.
There was hardly any Mater. Like, almost none. Like, he was negligible in that movie. He didn't make any impact whatsoever.
He sang a stupid song.
Did he? Oh, at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was dumb.
I guess he was singing at the beginning of his one scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, he was like not in this movie. Like, if they had just erased his character, it would have no impact on this movie.
Would have been fine.
Right. So people should go see it if they're, Mater haters. They should go see it because he's not really in it. They should give this one a better chance than they've given the other ones.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely better than 2.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's on the same level as the first one.
Yeah.
Because still, It came to the
you're
point
just
where I
not
was just
into
like,
it.
I don't care
Yeah.
about any of these people
Well,
or cars.
and I get that, and I didn't expect you to all of a sudden become a Cars franchise fan, and I had realistic expectations about that, but I really thought they did a good job. I liked the way that they handled the story. The artwork in this
Do we
was
want to just start with
phenomenal.
the story?
Yeah, we can start with
Okay.
story.
So, got problems with the story,
Oh, shocker!
right? Okay, so, and I think we both have the same problem with the story.
Oh, okay.
I was totally in for, and like I got it from like the beach scene where they're racing with each other. I'm like, okay, he's gonna train her. It's pretty obvious.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, okay, got it. That makes sense. Then we get to the very end of the movie, and of course, Lightning has to be a d-bag because
Like he is.
he's a prick. So then we get to the end of the movie, and he's racing his final race, and I was totally down with it. I was like, cool, he's gonna lose here, bow out gracefully, and then he's going to teach Cruz. And then they do that thing where they're like, oh yeah, Cruz, now I'm officially your coach in the middle of the race. I thought that was stupid. It was too
Because
rushed.
you had already
It was-
figured it out?
Well, no,
It
it
was
was
stupid?
it was really rushed.
Oh, yeah.
They're just
I
like,
guess.
quick, do it now. That's the part of the movie I don't care for, and unfortunately, it's the last probably quarter of the movie, and I'm just like, really? This is what you went for? Okay.
See,
It was just way too rushed.
so would you have preferred if he lost?
I wanted him to
and
lose,
then said,
and then he goes and teaches,
Right.
And then trains Cruz up a little bit more, and then they go to the next race, and then she wipes the floor with everybody.
right.
That would have been cool.
There's probably a time limitation on if that was ever considered, because that would have added a lot of length to that movie if they tried to include all of that. And I think the other thing that it kind of works for me a little bit more than it did for
Well, then
you.
get rid of the chick stuff,
all the
because that was almost intolerable.
TV show stuff. Yeah, that was weird. Like I wasn't.
Maybe do it
I
the one
agree.
time.
I wasn't into that.
Maybe do it the one time when you've got the what's her name,
The
statistics
stats person,
or whatever.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, maybe do the one with her, but not do like the other three that they did, because then it was like, okay, we get it. You don't like Lightning McQueen. Nobody on your crew likes you either. We got that, man.
Right.
And then you kind of keep shoving it in your face, shoving it in your face, shoving it in your face.
Yeah, I could have done without those chick hicks things. So, is that your only problem with the story, or did you have other problems?
I also don't understand why we still needed a villain.
I mean, you kind of that's.
No, you don't. Because like,
Wait. Well, first of all, are you talking about Jackson Storm as
Yeah.
the villain? Okay.
we still had to have a villain. Why do you have to? Why'd you have to make him? Why'd you have to make him a prick? There was no reason for that. Just make him
So
be
you
like.
think it would have been better if he was just a good guy?
Well, he didn't even have to be a good guy. He could just be like, yeah, I know I'm better. He doesn't have to. He didn't have to. Continually do. And then the cheating bit at the end where he's like putting her into the wall. I'm like, really? You don't have to have that. Like he literally could have been like scared and like in the race and be like when she passes him, then maybe a grudging respect at the end, be like, all right, I'll get you next time. Something like that. You don't have to. I don't feel like you have to have that. But they're like, oh, we have to have a bad toy to sell, so that's why they did this one.
I guess I don't understand that. I don't understand the problem there.
I don't feel that it's needed. It's needed because when you're racing your Lightning McQueen and your Cruz Diaz toys, you have to have a bad car for them to beat. So that's why they put Jackson Storm in the movie.
I mean, I guess that was the thinking behind it. I don't totally follow that way of thinking, but I mean, I feel like you want to have somebody to root against.
Why do you have to have anybody to root against?
You don't have to, but I think it's kind of what we do when we're watching sports and competition. Most of us who follow like a certain team or a certain athlete also have somebody that we love watching them beat, somebody that we root against almost. And that's kind of the nature of sports, really. And I think that's kind of playing into that. And since you're not really an avid follower of sports, I can see why you don't really.
Follower of sports.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
I never knew this about you.
I mean, I've said it multiple times that Love the Dallas Cowboys. Love the New York Yankees.
Had no idea.
I love Chelsea.
Cowboys. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen you watch a sports game or anything like that.
Well, we
so
also never like hang out at sports bars or anything like that.
Well, I mean, here even. I'm sorry. I'm learning right now that I didn't know you were a sports fan.
I mean, that's fine.
My bad.
But I mean, yeah, like I watch football. And that's the thing. Like I want Dallas to win. There's not really a team where I'm like, kill them. I hope you tear them to pieces. Unless it's the Red Sox with the Yankees, because then I'm like, those.
So
guys
there is a team.
Those guys can saw it off. But like when Chelsea plays, I'm not like beat the crap out of Liverpool or Manchester.
Right.
I'm just like I just want them to win.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. Like I don't feel you have to have a villain in sports,
I mean,
unless it's wrestling.
But I think
then you have to have a villain.
Sure.
Because you have to have a heel.
Sure. I mean, I just think that's most people's tendencies is to kind of gravitate towards, oh, this is my favorite team, and that team's their rival, so I don't like that team. You know, they always want to have that juxtaposition that vaults their team above that other team.
Oh,
I feel like athlete,
wins.
whatever it is.
I just look at wins. I'm like,
and that's probably
your team's 6-5, my team's 10-2, so I don't care.
Yeah, I mean that's probably a much more objective way to consume sports. But I feel like so many people get emotionally involved in sports, and I think that's what's happening here. Is they want there to be an emotional involvement in you caring about, you know, Lightning winning. And him and his, you know, pals that are kind of the old school who start to retire one after another. You know, you're kind of rooting for Lightning as the last man standing in that old school amongst all these, you know, cocky new cars. And, you know, the cockiest of them all is the best of them all. And I think it just, it clarifies your rooting interest. Even though for you didn't like Lightning McQueen. So
yeah, exactly.
You probably were never rooting for him.
No.
So
that's why I wanted him to lose. Like when we in the Cars 1 and 2 discussion that we did, Cartoon Cafe, I was like, I want him to lose.
Yeah. And
what
you're
did they
right,
do?
he
They're
didn't
like,
lose.
We
but...
can't let Lightning McQueen lose his last race. So dumb.
Well, it's not his last
Here's
race because he said at the very end of the movie he's going to keep racing. Well, he's going to mentor Cruz, but he's going to keep racing.
Well, here's the thing. Never mind. Forget it. He could have come in. They could have come in second, and it would have been good. Because then we're like, "Wow, this rookie just literally comes in halfway through this Piston Cup thing, and just, it got second place. It's crazy." Yeah, that would have been cool too.
I agree with that. I think that for me, you know, kind of like you wanting a little more reality in it. There's no way that would have happened. Like that car entering the race that late. From behind, comes all the way back and wins it in her first real race.
Well, I mean, it basically goes off the driver. So, I mean, if we're doing it kind of like NASCAR, I mean, a different driver can finish.
No, I know that. I'm not talking about the rules. I'm talking about the chances of somebody being
like
able
0.
to overcome that field and win in that circumstance.
It's not.
That would never happen. And so that, for me, is the one point where I was like, that's a little bit of a stretch for her to win it right there. And so, yeah, I agree with you on that. But I mean, and I agree with you that it was kind of an early flip where they do the thing where Lightning says, oh, yeah, I'm the coach, you're the driver now. Go. Right in the middle of the race. Like, I
in the
agree
middle of the race,
like
even though there's a caution flag out, and I'm like, that pace car has already gone around the track like 4 times now, guys.
Yeah. Well, in the middle section of this movie, though, that's the part that I love the best, where Lightning goes back to find Doc Hudson's teacher, and he tracks down Smokey, and we meet all those super old-timey race cars, and Smokey kind of becomes the new, you know, sensei or whatever, teaching him, you know, reteaching him how to drive. And I like that whole segment where he kind of, you know, they're doing all the dirt track racing, and he's starting to see all the signs that Cruz is actually a really good race car, but he's also tapping into something that he had forgotten. And I don't know, I just like that whole segment. And when he learns all those lessons about how Doc was really happiest when he was mentoring him, and it kind of opened his eyes to
because
my life isn't over just because I stopped racing.
You see Sally look at Lightning, and she's like really happy because he's all happy and everything as he's coaching Cruz.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that was a neat story because it shows that just because this one part of your life might be coming to a close, there can be a whole other chapter after that that's just as great and maybe even more fulfilling. And I thought that was a really neat part of the story. And that's kind of what I liked about Toy Story 3. That's a similar thing. It's like, oh, we're going to go into a new chapter where this can be a whole new adventure. And I like stories like that. I think it's really neat where they can have a paradigm shift and be even more excited about something they've been dreading. I thought it was good.
Okay.
Did you like Smokey?
I
thought he was great.
I have no opinions.
He was my favorite new character.
I have no opinions.
And I didn't even know he was...
See, I liked Cruz. I like
a big Cruz a lot, too.
Cruz was my favorite of... Like, design-wise, it was Storm, just because he
so
looks
cool.
BA.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, personality and, like, actual character-wise and development-wise, it was Cruz.
Yeah, I liked Cruz. But I my favorite was Smokey. I guess I just like that kind of character because I liked Doc too. But and he's also kind of brown and rusty like Mater. So he's kind of like a Mater Doc combo.
He's brown and rusty like me.
Nah, I'm white and rusty, I guess.
Yeah, you are pretty rusty. I guess art, I suppose.
Man, the art in this I thought was phenomenal. The animation was amazing.
That opening, like not like the opening scene, like that. Like towards the very beginning, we have that scene where Lightning goes to the Rusty's Racing Center, and we go up and we see like the shrubbery and everything by the play. I was like, wow, that looks really, really good.
The animation's just phenomenal. Even when they were doing the flashbacks with Doc and everything, it's like they fully reanimated him. His chrome just looked all sweet and beautiful. I thought the animation, the attention to detail on this was just stunning. Our buddy Aaron, we were talking about this at work yesterday, I think, and he was talking about, he was surprised that they made it look so realistic. It seems like so far removed from the other ones. And I feel like with each of the Cars installments, Pixar was reaching a new level in animation. I think they did it with Cars. I think that was a leap forward from what they'd previously done. And then in Cars 2, it was another leap. That movie was beautiful at the time. This goes even farther. I think they're just, that's the nature of CG, and we've talked about it, where 5 years from now, this is going to look dated in many ways because that's just the nature of CG. But this is their peak right now of animation. It is so beautifully done. Amazing design work. The textures, the lighting, the colors. It's just phenomenal. I'm so impressed with little things like the physics of the dirt that the tires kick up, and when those pebbles
when they're in the sand,
fall.
When they're racing through the sand, which is incredibly. Is that Rocky 3?
Yeah, it's very Rocky
it's very
3.
Rocky
Yeah.
3. When they're kicking up sand and everything, and there's like tire tracks and everything. I was like, wow, they're doing a really good job.
I mean, yeah, everything about it was just gorgeous. I loved it. You talk about Jackson Storm. The design of that car is phenomenal. A lot of those new cars, all those cars that were just training at the Rusty Center,
and
who were in their matte gray, but with the hot colored trims.
Those were my favorite cars.
They were sweet.
They looked cool. Like my favorite of the background characters was like, those guys are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they had good personalities too. It's like maybe they join Lightning McQueen and everything, and they all four of them.
Right.
Because like that was the one thing I asked you. Was like, what happened to those poor cars? Did they not get to? Are they like without a trainer
and
now?
My thought was they just weren't wearing their racing paint, so they might have been one of those cars.
I thought they
know.
were all in training because Nathan Fillion tells Cruz to get back and get what's his face.
Well, that's
ready.
true, because if they're all on the Rusty's team, then it's only Lightning that's racing for Rusty's as the lead racer. So that makes sense.
Well, I mean, you have secondary racers too, because I mean, there's a possibility that Lightning crashes,
right?
And then you have like for instance, Dynaco. Like Cruz is not the only person in Dynaco. Like they've got other racers too, but she's the highlight.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Spoilers. She
gets
signs
that
with
Dynaco
Dynaco.
Deal, yeah.
Good old Tex finally gets somebody.
Because Nathan Fillion plays a total jerk, and basically
Nathan Fillion is now officially like
the greatest sleaze
character,
of all time. Yeah, he really is. But he comes in and makes Rusty's kind of this creepy place.
He's a nice looking Cadillac too.
So yeah. So she basically is like, I quit Rusty's. I'm gonna go sign with Dynaco. Get that Dynaco blue.
Dinoco's like, yeah, we finally got somebody.
Yeah, it's so cool. I like
the
that they
one
did that.
racer who was like, guys, I'm still here.
Yeah, Cal.
That was good.
That was hilarious. I mean, yeah, I like how they did all of that. The animation again was just superb. I like that we got some new paint jobs for Lightning McQueen. The end where they paint him up like the fabulous Hudson Hornets, but it was the fabulous Lightning McQueen in Doc's colors. Oh, that was so amazing. That was one of several moments where I got teary, where they were just pulling that nostalgia heartstring for me, and it was so good.
I don't like the color scheme.
Really?
Not on Lightning.
I thought it was great.
I don't think it works.
I told you, if they have one of those, if they make a toy version of that, I'm getting that.
Will.
I'm sure they have already, but I just haven't been out to shop. I'm getting it. I want him, and I want Smokey, I want Cruz, and I want Jackson. If I can get each of those from this movie, then I'm good.
Yeah, they've got some of the Funkos.
Yeah, I want the actual.
You want the Hot
Cars
Wheels
toys. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't care about Funko.
Well, maybe we swing by Target later.
Maybe.
We'll see if they got some for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that out and see. So, I mean, music-wise, I felt like the music in Cars 1 was amazing.
There was a problem with this movie.
In 2, it was eh. In this one, I don't remember even paying attention to any music.
Nope, none of it mattered.
It really didn't play a part.
Why? Because you know what didn't happen at the very end? We did not get a Brad Paisley song.
Man, I'm sorry, dude. I know you were hoping for that.
A Brad Paisley song at the end of 1, a Brad Paisley song at the end of 2, and then 3, they were like, no Brad Paisley. And you're like,
man,
well,
I'm sorry.
This movie sucks.
They just yanked the carpet out from underneath you, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. So
what was the ending song?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember either.
Not good.
There is a post-credit scene for those of you that haven't seen it yet and are listening.
Watch it. You can just leave.
It's pretty.
It's literally Mater singing,
Mater
and he knocks some tires over.
At night.
Lightning, oh dang technology.
Yeah, it's not much. I really don't think they did anything with Mater in this movie. I mean, they didn't. They certainly didn't help his cause as far as getting people to like him more. But I don't know. Like, I almost don't see the point of even having him in this movie.
Yeah,
like it just didn't.
Sorry if you can hear the weed eater that's outside.
Oh yeah,
but
it's yard work day here in the apartment complex.
Yeah.
So the one other thing that I was disappointed with is probably something that you were kind of glad about, and it's to do with Mater as well. But hardly any Radiator Springs and almost no involvement from all those original characters. The only ones who really kind of are along for the ride are Luigi and Guido, who are in it quite a bit because they're part of the main pit crew.
But they don't really talk that much.
No, they don't. They don't hardly have any lines. I thought that was really interesting. It's like they're really just not a part of this story at all, and I was a little sad about that. I was kind of hoping that most of that training would happen back at Radiator Springs, but
But
whatever.
literally, he gets better, and then he's like, "Get on the bus."
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're sending Mac to come pick you up. Bye. Yep. Say goodbye to your friends and family.
Exactly. But I was glad they ended in Radiator Springs. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice. So yeah, dude, you want to?
You want to talk
do you have
about
anything
Lou?
else?
Want to talk about Lou real quick?
Oh yeah, the short. I forgot about Lou.
Well, that's not good.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was only thinking about Cars, but it was good. It wasn't my favorite
Pixar
best.
Short. My thing with Lou was like I didn't really care for the beginning bit, and I didn't really care for the middle bit. I the only time that I was like, okay, well this is kind of good, is like after the whole chase sequence, and he's like, look, JJ, here's your dog. Right. And he's like, oh, I want him. We're like, well, you got to give these toys back. That's when I was like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then he gives the toys back, rather, begrudgingly, and then like he ends up basically getting rid of Lou.
Right.
And all that's left is his little toy doggy.
Toy doggy.
And then everybody wants to play with him.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a neat little lesson for kids, I guess.
Yeah, but like I thought
I wasn't blown away by it.
Yeah, I didn't care for
the.
I didn't care for the beginning bit or the middle bit where like the chase sequence. I was just like, all right, get it, and it's not that big of a playground.
Right.
Like, get back in your box, bro.
I feel like, yeah, I agree with all of that basically, and artistically, I mean, I thought it was okay. It wasn't as good as Piper. I mean, Piper was phenomenal. There's several, and we're going to do the Pixar shorts, I think next month. We're going to do one of our episodes on that.
Not next month. It's August.
Is it August?
Yeah.
I'm excited to do that because there are some shorts that I adore that I think are far superior to this. Artistically, I thought this one was middle of the road.
The Nessie one I like.
Yeah, that was...
This monster.
I think
is that
that's
a Disney short?
one.
Oh,
I don't think it's a
that
Pixar one. Yeah, that's good. I like that one too. The Ballad of Nessie. But yeah, I didn't like the lighting.
It's
what?
a duck. She's got a little duck.
Oh yeah, she does. What was I saying? Oh, the lighting in Lou. I felt like it was washed out. Like it was all just bright sunlight, and everything was kind of washed out because of it.
And here's another thing.
It didn't look interesting to me.
What were the teachers doing? Did they not notice that this kid that JJ never came back?
Never came back from recess?
Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, what a bad school.
Yeah, some unaccounted for kid in a duel with a lost and found monster.
Yeah.
Where are the teachers?
I like that they totally put Marco from Star vs. Force of Evil. That's his red hoodie.
You're convinced that it's his red hoodie?
Sure.
It might be a nod.
It's his
Marco.
daughter's red hoodie.
Oh, okay.
Because the little girl puts it on.
Yeah.
If she would have had a little mole under one of her cheeks, like Marco, I'd be like, Marco's kid.
Nice.
Right there.
Are they in the future?
Huh?
Or are they in the past?
Who?
Marco.
We don't know when Lou takes place. We don't know when Star takes place.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so do you want to rate the short and then we'll rate the film?
2.
On the short?
A 2 on the short. 2 Dipper Pines on the short.
I'm about right there with you.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 2.
It's like there's better ones out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Is Papers, Please, is that a Pixar one or a Disney one?
What? Papers, Please?
Yeah, not Papers, Please. That's a game. Paperman.
Paperman's Disney.
That's a good one.
That may
be my favorite one.
Well, we're going to discuss that on that
one.
shorts episode. So I like that one too. I think it's phenomenal.
So Cars
3.
What do you give it?
Out of Jiminy Crickets, I give this one a... I really did like it. I'm going to give it 4. No, just 4.
Not a half?
No, just 4. It's not as good as Cars. Way better than Cars 2. Phenomenal in animation. I liked the story, even though I had some problems with it. Not as many as you did. But, yeah. I think if it would have had a really good soundtrack like the first one, I might give it 4.5 or 5. But, yeah, it's a 4 for me.
I'm going to give it 3 Dipper Pines.
Nice.
So, same thing as the first one.
Nice.
Because, I mean, like I said, the story it feels rushed at the end.
Yeah.
It's just like, quick, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
And that's what they did.
Yeah.
Or that's what it feels like.
I mean, going back to your idea of letting him lose that race and then mentoring her to another race and winning. I mean, I would have loved it if it was a 2.5 hour animated movie, but Disney and Pixar are never going to do that. You only get awesome length from Japan. Where they have like all of the longest animated movies.
And they're great.
Most of those that are up there on that list are phenomenal movies. So cool, man.
That was it.
That was it.
That was an easy. It was kind of short, short episode.
Yeah, we only talked about one movie in this one. The other one we talked about 2.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I wish I was expecting more, but I honestly don't know why I expect more from Pixar.
I think I think in the case of Cars specifically, not general Pixar.
I think it's generally Pixar, like and Disney for that matter too. Like their movies, I expect more than what I get. Because like when I go into an animated like an anime movie or something like that, I'm not really like a Leica movie. We'll just say we'll keep it in the U.S. It's like a Leica movie. I go in there and I'm not expecting the world, and they always surprise me. And they always give me something good. But with like the Disney and the Pixar, I go in expecting something real. I go in expecting the world, and then they deliver what they deliver, and I'm just like, okay.
Why do you feel like your expectations are so much higher?
Well, I would think because Disney is like this, like because I'm going back from my experience of like the stuff that I watch on like their cartoons. So like I expect a lot based on that, like storytelling wise, and like the stuff from like the whatever you call the Renaissance stuff. Like all those were really good movies,
right?
And I expect them to do that more.
Yeah.
And the only one that I felt has done that recently is Zootopia.
Yeah.
The rest of them, and I mean,
you like Big Hero 6 too, right?
Big Hero 6 and Zootopia. Well, I mean, recently, like within the last 4 years.
Okay.
I would say Zootopia is it. Because the rest of them just like.
Well, and I think this goes back to the fact that you would prefer all these to be
town outside.
You'd prefer all these to be 2D animated movies.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, it just kind of keeps you at a bit of a distance, and so you're basically like, well, you better bring it with story, and if the story's not dynamite, then you're just like, eh. So I think I don't think you should go in with those same expectations, because I don't think they're ever going to be fulfilled because of that.
Well, it's one of those you can't help it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So,
I understand.
Like with cars, like you're gonna go in, really high on cars, but just because
I set myself up to be totally disappointed, because I was hanging my entire hopes for the year on this movie, and I think they delivered. It had its flaws, but I think they really delivered. But yeah, I mean, I understand having a bar. Better than Your Name. No, Your Name was better than this.
Yeah.
That's a phenomenal
Your Name
movie.
made me cry.
That's a phenomenal movie,
like 3
man.
times.
But again, I'm on board with you. I prefer 2D animation. Like traditional animation is my favorite.
Or if you can mix them like they do.
Sure, you can have elements.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Then it looks really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Don't want to keep bringing up Your Name, but the mix that they do there, and you're like, good
flawless.
Lord Almighty.
Yeah, flawless. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll see Coco. So hopefully, maybe Coco will be better, because I'm not expecting anything from it until I probably get in there, and then I'll see the potential.
Right.
And then I'll be like, oh, hopefully they do this, and then they won't do that, and I'll be disappointed.
I think it's going to be hilarious if there comes along a Pixar movie that you just fall in love with.
The only one that I really like is
Bugs Life. Yeah.
That was what, number 2?
Yeah, that was their second film. I love that movie. Ooh, when we're at California Adventure, we have
There's
to
a Bugs Life thing, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
I'll go that.
awesome. It's one of my favorite things. We'll
we need that should be a top 5 that we do later. Like top 5 things I want to see at Disney, and the top 5 things you want to show me at Disney.
We should do it after we come back, and we'll do the top 5 things you did see.
I guess.
Because I mean, you
well, we may
only have so much
of
an idea.
We may include that in our D23 episodes.
Okay.
Because we're going to be doing D23 episodes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of D23.
Nice.
So we're going to be on the floor reporting. We're actually not going to be on the floor. We're going to be on the floor. We're going to be taking notes, and then we're going to come back to the Airbnb, and then we're going to report.
Right. I like it, man. We'll be your D23 correspondents.
Jeebus, dude, really?
He's got to trim all that trim, man.
I guess he's like killing it out there.
He is.
I didn't even know there was a bush out there.
Well, I don't think it's a hedge trimmer. It's an actual like weed eater that he's trimming the edge of the grass with. So he's going around the entire edge of everything right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
You do that, bro. You do you.
I wonder how bad it's being picked up.
It's probably terrible. It's like,
I don't know. The pool kids don't really come through on the mic.
Yeah, but they're not as loud.
They're not?
No. Oh, unless it's those one dudes that play the football in the pool. Gah. Can you hear them from where you are?
Sometimes if we're outside, because the sound gets trapped in that little corridor.
Now think of it
buildings.
if you live right next to the pool.
Oh, I've lived next to a pool before.
How loud it is.
I've lived right next to a pool.
When it, because the pool closes at 10, and it'll be like 9.
Oh, is it that late? I thought it was 9.
Nope, 10. It sucks. So it'll be like 9:40. I'm like, you guys have 20 minutes before I'm calling security.
Nice. You're that guy.
Yes.
You're that old guy.
Well, I mean, really, they shouldn't be making that much noise.
True.
Past dark.
Right.
On a school night, even though it's not school. On a weeknight.
On a day.
Exactly. A day that ends in Y.
Nice.
No more.
No more fun for you.
Exactly. All right, so we good? We good?
We're good,
You
man.
don't want to talk any more about Kaz?
I mean, you know me. I'll talk about cars whenever.
Oh, I did like the one. There was that taxi cab.
Oh yeah.
Who was like, I'm
Yeah.
walking here. I'm like, sorry, I'm driving here.
Yeah. And no Top Gear guys.
Yeah, it's still stupid.
It would have
It's
been
weird
cool
that
to
you
have
would
a
put in the
surprise
Top Gear
cameo
guys.
from
Bob
them.
Costas came back.
Yep.
Was happy about Bob Costas.
Yep.
Because here's the thing. He's one of those guys that I wouldn't mind who narrated my life.
Yeah, he's got a
Wouldn't
good...
that be good?
Good.
Like that's the best part about
commentary
the
voice.
best part about whenever the Olympics rolls around. You're like Bob Costas.
Well, yeah, he's worked his way up to that number one spot. He's got the gig, man. He just picks and chooses
And
what
then
he wants to do.
Lexi Lawless does all the soccer stuff. And then they get it used to be Brian Boitano, but then they replaced him with those other two.
Yeah, I don't remember who they replaced him with.
Yeah, I miss Brian Boitano.
We all do. Back to South Park.
South Park.
Is that from the movie?
Yeah,
what would Brian Boitano do? That's hilarious. If you guys didn't hear it yet, on our last episode, we ranked our favorite singing animated characters, and Josh picked the
which was
South Park
better?
guys.
Okay, so you gave Cars 3 and Gay Paris both 4s. Which did you like? Never mind. That's a Cars thing.
Because of the history with the characters, I like Cars better, but I mean they're great in their own
It's
ways.
surprising
They're totally
how
different.
good Gay Paris was.
Yeah, we
it's
both really
very
enjoyed it.
surprising.
It was so fun. I'm glad we watched it.
Yeah.
That's one of the cool things about what we're doing here is that we're also discovering new stuff that we've never seen. We're not just, telling people about the same old stuff they've always watched.
Yeah.
So.
Which is nice. I like it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So, Gavin, where can everybody find you?
At Gavin Audison Art on Instagram and Twitter.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh L. Kane. You can find the podcast
on Instagram
at
I didn't know if you wanted.
I forgot I was doing the at Instagram. Okay, you can find the podcast on Instagram at
Animation Station Podcast.
I lost it. Animation Station Podcast on Twitter at Animate Podcast.
On the interwebs at animationstationpodcast.com, where you can listen to our podcast on the podcast tab. You can also find us on
iTunes and Stitcher.
Nice.
You can find us on Facebook at just do Animation Station Podcast.
Yeah.
I find all of our podcast friends. I guess I don't know. Is MTG Pro Tutor still a thing?
I don't know. I think it is.
Okay.
We should probably confirm that.
Yeah. We need we need to redo the outro.
Yeah.
Because it still says Shaun of the Gallery.
We need another
we need another
podcast in our network, man. We need to start networking about our network.
Yeah.
Get this built up. We need to have like a 10
station
network.
I want to do a just like a movies one. That's not like animated, where it's just like movies.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Cool.
But we could call it the Brain Wrap. That's an
Brain Wrap?
That's an old movie thing. Like when you were at the theater, whenever you had to go through the projectors, like and you had to thread everything, there's this device called the brain, and that's what you thread the film through, and it goes into the projector.
Okay.
So a brain wrap is when something would mess up on the brain, and the film would wrap around the brain really tight, and it would pull it and snap it. That's a brain wrap.
Oh.
So like if you ever see, like the film just kind of like freeze, and then you see the like basically the light bulb melt.
Yeah.
That's a brain wrap.
Oh.
Yeah, that's caused because
if it stops in front of that light
it just
for too long, that light melts it.
Yeah, that light is hot.
Oh yeah.
It's very
That's
hot.
why movie theaters would catch on fire. Exactly.
Yeah. So, yes, maybe like the
Cinema
Brain Wrap
Paradiso.
podcast.
You ever seen that movie?
Cinema Paradiso?
Yeah.
No. Have you ever seen The Presidio? It's Mark Harmon and Sean Connery.
Ooh, nice.
All right.
You gonna do your Sean Connery today?
Nope.
Okay.
You can also find our good friends over at Cloud City Cast, Brittany and Remy.
And Liam. I love you, bro. I'm here to protect you, bro.
But yeah, definitely listen to them. They're doing all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah.
Talk about the Star Wars, the Disney, the Marvel.
The Marvel.
All right, we done?
I think we're done.
All right. It's for the Animation Station podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Gavin. Did Cruz Ramirez have a catchphrase? Is that what you're trying to think of?
I was trying to think of a good one for Cars. Did anybody say anything good?
I don't remember any good one-liners or anything in this one. It's weird. It was a lot lower on the comedy and more just on the story. It was kind of epic in a lot of ways.
What he said?
Well, there's the
like
I'm
a
walking
cloud,
here.
I'm a cloud.
Oh yeah, find your cloud or whatever it is.
It was like all the little crabbies went night night.
Nice.
So we did the I'm Josh, I'm Gavin. Right. Bye bye, little butterfly.
Made you look.
Thank you for listening to the Animation Station Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Animation Station Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Animate Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes and join the conversation at SecretSuperheroClub.com, where you can connect with our podcast friends, Cloud City Cast, Getting Into Comics, and Shaun of the Gathering.